The chaos that was happening around me was becoming very overwhelming. Oh. It's a hug pile, you guys. Oh. Goodbye, Mount Washmore.
And I do back.
Yeah, I'm putting a little Hygge in my life today. So that was a little bit of my morning routine that I generally try to do when I'm on top of things. But lately, even when it came to the vlog, and I know we've had a lot of stuff going on, so I had taken some breaks from doing the vlog, and I've kind of talked to you about that a little bit, but that's not the only thing that was going on. I have been going through a period of feeling really depressed, really anxious, and for no reason. And so I kind of just wanted to pick up the camera today and talk a little bit about that, about feeling how that affects me. And so if you noticed, my kitchen was a disaster this morning. So normally I would pick up after we have dinner, and I'd make sure that we have kids are playing in the background, so they're super loud. They're playing Zoom Zooms and Shopkins and Grocery Gang right now. But normally I would make sure that the dishwasher was loaded in the evening, even if it wasn't completely full, to get done, or do the dishes, things like that. Especially with having the dishwasher now, it's a lot easier for me to get that done. But I was still finding that I would have dishes on the counter, or there would be things sitting around, and there still is at this point. I'm slowly going through and decluttering and picking things up, but I was feeling very overwhelmed and very, I don't know if it was depression or what it was, but every now and then I will struggle with that. And it's not something that I've ever talked about on here. It's not something that happens all the time with me, but I was really struggling the last few weeks and have been, and I'm working on pulling myself out of that. So I've been doing a lot of decluttering, a lot of cleaning. A lot of times that will help me. That's one of the things I do, or spending quality time with the kids where we're just hanging out and watching movies, or I'll watch really inspirational videos or inspirational people, and that will help pull me out of whatever's going on. So I don't know if any of you ever struggle with that, but for me, that's something that's been going on with me for the last couple of weeks. So you may have noticed that our vlogs were a little bit different than what they've normally normally been. I mean, it's not like I'm in bed all day or something like that. That's not how I deal with it. If I'm feeling kind of down or kind of anxious, I won't, and it wasn't kind of, it was very much so. So I guess I should be a little more honest about it. It was very much so. I was feeling very depressed, very anxious for no reason. I just was. And my home very much reflects that for me. And even in the vlogs that I was doing, it was reflected because I just wasn't feeling myself, where I was second guessing things I do and who I am. And you know, sometimes those feelings are uncontrollable. Those feelings are irrational. They're not true. But I was really just coming down on myself, being really hard on myself. And so for me, it's really important when those kind of things happen for me to put myself into a routine that I stick to. And I'd kind of gotten out of that. And I think that was part of what happened with me, is the chaos that was happening around me was becoming very overwhelming. And sometimes I think for me, when I get to that point, I forget who I am and what direction I'm going in. And I don't know if that ever happens to anybody else, but for me, that's the way it is. Maybe I won't be writing, or I won't be doing things that I like. And that can be a very dangerous line for me to walk. I need to have that structure and that routine. So just something I thought I'd pick up the camera and talk about and share with you guys today. And that's why I kind of opened up the beginning, to show you a little bit of reality of what it was looking like for me. So let's get back to it and get those routines in place, because they're so important. And look at this. This little guy came in to give me a hug. Oh, it's a hug pile, you guys. Is done for the day. I'm actually heading upstairs, and if you're new and wondering about our house and some of this stuff, check out our video, house tour. We live in a hospital. You'll find out a little bit more history of our fixer-upper. So I could try to explain it to you, but there's more detail in that video, and you'll learn a little bit more about why you see stuff like this as you're watching us go through our home. So it explains it in a little more detail and why the house looks like it does. Look at that. That is Skylar, T, and Braxton when they were little. So I don't have all the pictures I'd like to have up in the house. I have not gotten to it, and a lot of that has to do with the remodeling that needs to be done. So as I go a little bit in the house, little by little, I try to get some of that stuff done. But I have a few things hung up, but not as many as we used to before we moved. So anyway, I'm getting ready to go in and do a little swish and swipe on the bathroom. I think I said it the other day in a video, but I'm not sure. I'm actually getting back into doing Fly Lady. That just seemed to work the best for me and to really keep me on routines. If you don't know what Fly Lady is, she actually has an app, which is super cool. I've done a video on it. Fly Lady has an app, so there's more information in that video as well. But right now, I'm getting ready to go in and swish and swipe my bathroom, which I should have done this morning, but I needed to get schooling done with the kids, so I was running a little behind and didn't get it done. So I'm gonna do that now. Then I'm gonna make my bed, even though it's the middle of the afternoon. It's like 3 o'clock. Kids have karate. I have to go pick up clothes from the laundromat because we still don't have a dryer, but I should have a dryer on the 5th getting delivered. So I'm pretty excited. I'm finally gonna have a dryer again. Oh, goodbye, Mount Rushmore. Bathroom. I got my bed made. I actually changed Aspen's sheets because they needed changed to put a fresh set of sheets on his bed. I pulled our sheets off to wash them today yet because they need done. I see you. What are you doing? Are you getting ready to go take your bath and get ready for karate in a little bit? Yeah. I gotta move you though. Because this week's zone is the living room, and because the living room needs some TLC, it needs some picking up. It says 15 minutes of decluttering. There's like all these different things that you're supposed to do, missions. One of them is to do a corner to corner vacuuming. But instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little decluttering and cleaning up in this room. I'm gonna spend 15 minutes in the living room, and I'm gonna clean up behind the couch because this is a catch-all area behind the couch. It never fails that there is stuff behind here. So, and I'd like to be able to do some vacuuming and stuff in this room yet this week. All right, so I wasn't kidding when I said it's a catch-all. Toys fall behind here, and it looks like my no food rule has been broke with suckers. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that and find out what's been going on. So Aspen decided to come in and be my big helper, didn't you? You're helping me suck up all the pieces on the floor behind the couch. That means I can get some more work done in my 15 minutes. I have 10 minutes left, so. All right, guys, it's not perfect, but this is literally what about 15 minutes of decluttering and another 15 minutes of just picking up in this room did. So it's pretty smoky in the kitchen right now. Matt forgot he had burger on the stove and something in the oven.
You want some of that?
In here for the 3rd time today. This is dinner cleanup, you guys. And if you see, I have bowls set out. I'm getting ready to put those in the fridge. This is dinner that my kids didn't finish. And every now and then before they're ready to go to bed, they'll be like, oh, I'm hungry. And so I'll pull their dinner out, pop it in the microwave that they didn't finish, pop it in the microwave. And that's what they'll eat before they go to bed so that they're actually finishing their dinner. That's one of the things that I do to make it not stressful at bedtime, not giving them really snacky foods, but just having them finish out the portion of dinner that they had and they didn't finish. So I'm not a big one to be like, oh, you have to eat all your dinner. I'll just put it away, and if they're not hungry, or because not everybody's hungry at the same time. I know that there's times where like I'll go to have dinner and I'm really just not that hungry, but later on I might be. So that's what I do with the kids. If they don't finish their food or they don't seem like they're really interested in eating it, they'll sit at the table with us, but then they won't always finish their food. So I put it away and then they can have it later. But yeah, my 3rd time today, and it's not too bad. There's just a few things. I think most of this will go in the dishwasher. The lid I'll wash and stuff like that. But other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. And I have to show you something else I'm doing. So check it out. I have a candle on the stove. And the reason I have that on there is I started watching a lady. She goes by, her YouTube channel is Denise in Denmark. So she follows the Fly Lady program. She was actually a Fly Lady mentor. And I stumbled across her last night and I started binge watching her videos. They were so interesting. And she like walks you through what she does for the Fly Lady program and gives you advice that way. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. But she was talking about something, and I know I'm probably saying this wrong. I heard her say it a few times last night, called Hygge, that they do in Denmark. And it's basically, my understanding and my takeaway of it was basically finding joy in everyday things and comforting yourself, like intentionally comforting yourself, intentionally looking for joy. And she said in Denmark, people are always, they have candles all the time. And so when she does her dishes, that's how she finds some hygge, is she'll light a candle while she's doing her dishes and cleaning the house. And I actually found myself doing this today. And it was really nice. It was really like spirit lifting, I guess is the way I could put it. And I told you guys that I have been struggling with a depression, not depression, but a depression that I was going through for no apparent reason. I was just having it. And I think some of it was chaos and clutter around me. In all honesty, I was feeling very overwhelmed and just unsure of myself. And so I've been doing little things, and I've actually started last night studying what this whole hygge thing is. And I think it's a really cool thing. I actually think it could be a cool thing to use with the kids too, when they're having a tough time, like a temper tantrum or something like that. She talked about putting together a hygge basket and making a hygge spot. And what a cool way, if they were just having a rough time, to be like, okay, you know what? Do you want to get out your hygge basket and sit in your comfy spot and just comfort yourself for a little bit, instead of, oh, you need a timeout. Why don't we try this instead? The dogs are in here having dinner with me. So, well, not with me, but they're having dinner while I'm cleaning the kitchen. But yeah, I thought this was really cool, and it just feels nice and inviting. And then when the kitchen's done, you look around and there's a candle lit and it's all clean, and it feels good. So yeah, I'm putting a little hygge in my life today.